What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're gonna keep diving into this car. We gotta find out what the fuel pressure issue is. Thank you all for commenting and letting me know what to look for. I gotta say, I'm looking through all of that stuff. I'm not leaving anything unturned. So stay tuned, check it out. Alright, so I'm going to do a bunch of changes to the fuel system in the hopes that one of these changes is gonna fix everything. We'll never know what did it, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. So one of the things I don't have, and I saw a video on Fuel Labs, and if you don't have a hose coming out of the return all the way to the bottom of the tank, it aerates the fuel and causes a lot of air bubbles that these guys pick up on, and just pretty much you lose fuel pressure essentially because they're picking up air. So all the fuel that was dropping through here, it was just splashing here on the wall, on the fuel, creating air bubbles and sucking all the way through. So that could be the cause of my fuel problem. So I added this pipe now that goes all the way to the bottom of the tank, and now the return is gonna come out right out of there. So that's great. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm going up to a -8 on the return and a -10 on the feed. So on the pump side, I think this is it. Pretty solid stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount it back on. Another thing I did is I welded 10 fittings to the end of my fuel rail. These are originally 6 AN thread, so the hole is super small. Even though I had a -8 on the outside, the inside was a 6. So huge restriction right here on the fuel rail. So now it's a straight hole all the way through, and these are -10. So in and out through here to the regulator, -10. So it just looks a little ugly. I gotta sand it down and probably paint it black so it's not a eyesore in the engine bay. But so yeah, this was the restriction for sure. So I'm happy to be doing this right now. I got hose. So here are hoses from Motion Raceworks. So these guys are PTFE, but these are the ones that are called conductive, meaning that there's no chance of E85 producing static charge and coming out, hitting the chassis, causing a fire. So this is important. If you want the optimum setup, you need to use this kind of hose. So anyway, I got 10 feet of hose here. That should be plenty, so I'm gonna start making my lines. Alright guys, so now here I got 10 AN feed to the manifold, to the fuel rail, and I got 8 AN return, and I got you can't see it, but down there, the ethanol content sensor. Now I got it on the return side, just in case. And then the feed only has the fuel filter, again 10 AN. You can see on top of the pump here, 10 AN feed. That's a big guy, look at my finger. 10 AN feed, 8 AN return. One of these is going to be my fuel level checker, but for now, I know you saw in the previous videos I added that return all the way down to the bottom of the tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and put more fuel in it because I think I'm about half a tank. So I'm gonna fill it up more just to reduce any sort of problem with fuel splashing or whatever. I want to fill it up more, and I'm gonna do one pass, and then on the return pass I'm going to undo the fuel cap just to make sure it's not a venting issue, and we'll see. This gotta fix. If this doesn't fix it, I'm gonna have to go ahead and replace the 2 pumps to something else, to Walbro pumps, and call it a day. Alright guys, so now that I moved the sensor to the return side, I'm having an issue where it's not reading. it reads when the fuel is not flowing. The moment the fuel stops, then that's when it reads. I'm thinking that since it's not under pressure anymore, this is catching air in here. The fuel just wants to go straight through. It doesn't want to make it inside of that, and that's why it's not reading. So I have to make these. So now the sensor is going to leave like that. So the fuel is going to go through here, split into two. It had to go through the sensor no matter what, and then exit. The reason I'm not just running the sensor is because the sensor inside is really more of a 6 AN line, and I'm running 8 AN lines. So I have to do this little contraction here. So I'm gonna try it out now and see if that works. All right, so that fix worked. Now the sensor on the return is reading correctly. It's reading while the pump is flowing. Before it was dropping down to 0 when the pump was flowing. And I think it's because it was taking, the fuel was taking the easy way out. Since it's not under pressure, it was just going straight through. It was not going down here to then come back out, which makes sense. Now it works. So we're gonna take it out to see if now if the fuel pressure issue is fixed. So this was a new issue that had nothing to do with the other one. So let's see. Well, that didn't work. So I guess the next thing is to go ahead. I'm going to upgrade the cable sizes, and I'm also gonna go ahead and take off those DW pumps and just go with some Wabros. I'm sick of this. All right, check it out. I'm done messing around. I got 10 gauge cable from the pumps all the way up to the PDM up front there, and I got two Hellcats fuel pump. These are with the power number 285. So they're rated for E85, and they should make around 700 horsepower on a single pump. So I got two of these suckers. They are Wabros. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump them in the tank, and that's it, man. This is it. If this doesn't work, I'm putting the car up for sale. Alright guys, I mean, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I just got back from the drive, and this bitch is making fuel pressure. Check this out. Check this out. Boom, that yellow line. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. So it goes to show that the DW pumps were not up to the task. Those DW400s, two of them were not even good enough to supply 560 horsepower. Ain't that crazy? So these two pumps, you can tell, it went up to 75 psi, and it just stayed there the whole run. The whole freaking run. Steady as hell. You can see the ramping up. This is based on a manifold pressure, so it goes up when the manifold pressure goes up. This is freaking amazing. Look at it. That's the manifold pressure, the white line. Look how it's pretty much 1-to-1 the whole way up. That's what it's supposed to be. And we took this run to 85, looks like. Yeah, 8,500 RPM. Woo! All right, we're back on it. Now time to clean up some of the air fuel ratio because it is a little rich. This is the light blue line here. Is that what that is? Let me go to the, all right, here. So the purple line, this line, that's the air fuel ratio. That's after the run. The run is all the way to here, to my yellow line here. So you can see it's a little rich. It's supposed to be, the target is the white line, that white line right there, and the purple is what it's actually doing. So I'm targeting 0.8 lambda, and it's doing 0.75. So it's rich across the board. I gotta take some fuel out, but shit, I'm not worried about that. I worry about that the fuel is finally fixed. Hell yeah. That's it. That's fucking it. We're gonna go to the dyno again, and this time actually get this bitch where it needs to be. Oh, I made a video on getting the car weight, which you're gonna see it next, I guess. Alrighty guys, so today we're gonna get the car weight to finally figure out how much this pig weighs. Now I did take a lot of weight out, so you can see, but I also put a lot of weight back in with the roll cage and some of this extra bracing that was not part of the plan originally, but hey, we'll see. Also all those aluminum panels they sure add a lot of weight. So I'm curious to see. The tank is full of gas of E85, so that's good there. So I think we're gonna get a pretty accurate reading of what the total weight is gonna be. I'll see if I have some time to maybe corner balance it a little bit, and maybe not something perfect right on, but at least pretty close to front and back weight difference. So we'll see. The guide should be here any minute now, so go ahead and put your guesses in the comment section. Don't cheat though. Go ahead down there and take your guess. So this car weighs about 2,300. This car weighs about 3,300 pounds from factory. I believe I took away about 600 or 700 pounds, maybe 800, and then added the roll cage back in plus the other stuff. My guess, I'm thinking it's gonna be in from 2,800 to 2,900 pounds. That's my guess, so we'll see. Alrighty, so here's where we are. We're way off on the guess. It's about 3,000 pound 34. Now I do have a splitter to add on. That's probably like another 10 pounds. But see the front here, when I sit on it, we're about 2 pounds off. So that's gonna be pretty good for traction. Now the rear is way off, and I've been fighting it for a little bit, but we can't figure it out. All right, well, a little wishful thinking on my part. It's actually heavier than I thought. Then again, I did add a lot of metal to it. Like all the flat bottom stuff, all the bracing in the bottom of the floor, bracing for the front, tubing front end, roll cage, parachute in the back. These wheels are huge as well. Brakes are bigger than stock. So I took a lot of weight out, but I also put a lot of weight back in. And I'm not going crazy with weight. It's not like I'm doing legs on windows and taking out the door bars. All that's still there. I just took out the interior. Well, if you've seen my videos for a while, you know what I took off. So nothing too high there. So it's not bad, 3,000 pounds. All the biggest thing to take away though is that it had 100 pounds difference in between the two front tires. So even though it was aligned, the car was still pulling to one of the sides to the left. So makes sense, it was heavier on that wheel, so that wheel was probably catching more traction than the other. But now we got it within 2-3 pounds of each other. So it should go a lot straighter now. So next time I'll take it out on the road, I'm gonna take it with me so you can see what it does. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. We finally figured it out. We're gonna go ahead and take this bitch back on the dyno and get the ticket for FL2K because I'm gonna miss it. It's already 51 cars subscribed to it and it's only 49 spots left, so I gotta get mine secured for that event. See you on the next one.